Captain Jake Morrison looked at the empty space outside his ship window. The stars were quiet today. Too quiet. He had been captain of the U.S. Valkyrie for 5 years, and he knew when something was wrong. "Captain, we're getting something strange," Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez said from her seat. She was young but smart. Jake trusted her. "What kind of strange?" Jake asked, walking to her station. "It's a signal. Not human. Not like anything I've seen before." Emma's fingers moved over her computer. "It hurts to listen to it." Jake put on headphones. The sound was sharp, like breaking glass mixed with screaming metal. He pulled them off quickly. "Can you decode it?" "Working on it, sir." Emma's face was serious. "Got it. It's a distress call." The main screen lit up with alien symbols that slowly changed into English words. The message was broken and desperate. "Help. Under attack. Cannot stop them. Please. Anyone." Commander Ryan Thompson walked onto the bridge. He was Jake's second-in-command and his friend. "Sounds bad," Ryan said. "It's from the Zelethi Coalition," Emma reported. "From their home system." Jake and Ryan looked at each other. The Zelethi were famous across the galaxy. They had the best technology. They had powerful weapons. They never asked for help. Ever. If the Zelethi are calling for help, Ryan didn't finish. He didn't need to. "How far?" Jake asked. 3 days at maximum speed," Emma answered. Jake thought for a moment. Humans were new to space. Other aliens called them Deathworlders because Earth was such a dangerous planet. High gravity, poison air, killer animals everywhere. Humans survived it all. Now someone needed their help. "Send a message to Earth Command," Jake ordered. "Tell them we have a code black situation. The Zelethi need help." The crew moved fast. Within minutes, the message was sent. The answer came back faster than expected. Admiral Lisa Chang appeared on the screen. She was old and tough. Her face showed years of hard choices. "Captain Morrison, I'm sending you the coordinates for meetup. 12 ships will join you. You lead the first group." "Understood, Admiral." "Jake," she said, using his first name. That meant this was serious. "The galaxy is watching. They think humans are just violent monkeys who got lucky with space travel. Show them what we really are." "Yes, Mom." The screen went dark. Jake turned to his crew. They were all looking at him. Young faces, but brave ones. "All hands, this is the captain," Jake said into the ship speaker. "We just got a distress call from the Zelethi. They're under attack by unknown forces. We're going to help them." He paused. Every person on the ship was listening. "I know what other species say about us. They say we're Deathworlders. They say it like it's a bad thing. But today, being a Deathworlder might save lives. Prepare for emergency jump. We leave in 1 hour." Down in the Marine section, Sergeant Carlos Rivera heard the announcement. He looked at his squad. They were checking their weapons and suits. "You heard the captain," Rivera said. "Private Mitchell, make sure everyone's gear is ready." "Yes, sir." Hannah Mitchell was new but eager. She had grown up on Mars, where the gravity was lighter than Earth, but still stronger than most alien worlds. "Sergeant, what do you think we're walking into?" asked Private Chen. Rivera shrugged. "Don't know. Don't care. Someone needs help. We help. That's what humans do." The Valkyrie's engines started to warm up. The sound filled the ship. Soon, they would jump across space to answer a call for help. They didn't know what waited for them. They didn't know the enemy was something worse than anyone imagined. But they were human. They were Deathworlders. And Deathworlders don't run from a fight. Admiral Lisa Chung stood in the war room at Luna Station. The moon base was Earth's military command center. Huge screens covered the walls. Each one showed different star maps and ship positions. "How many ships can we send?" she asked General Marcus Cole. 12 for now. More if we pull from the border patrols," Cole answered. He was a big man who had fought in the first alien contact war. "Do it. Pull 8 more. This is too important. Chang looked at the list of available captains. She picked the best ones. Captain Derek Wu commanded the U.S. Storm Rider. He was calm under pressure. Captain Amy Foster led the U.S. Phoenix. She never lost a battle. Get them ready. They leave in 6 hours, Chang ordered. On Earth, the news spread fast. Humans were going to help the Zelethi. For 50 years, the galaxy had looked down on humans, called them primitive, dangerous. Now the most advanced race in known space needed their help. At the Mars training base, Marines got ready for deployment. Sergeant Carlos Rivera watched his squad gear up. Their suits were special, made for humans who grew up with Earth's heavy gravity and thick air. Listen up, Rivera said. We don't know what we're fighting. Could be robots. Could be monsters. Doesn't matter. We're Marines. We adapt. Private Hannah Mitchell checked her flamethrower. It was old technology, but it worked. Sometimes simple was better than fancy alien tech. "YS, Sarge?" asked Corporal Danny Chen. "Why call humans?" Rivera smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Because we're hard to kill. Earth made us tough. 30% oxygen atmosphere when most aliens breathe 10%. Gravity that breaks their bones. Weather that changes every day. We survived all that. Now they need survivors. The squad nodded. They understood. Being human meant being ready for anything. Back on Luna Station, Chang got a message from the Galactic Council. The alien governments were watching closely. Admiral Chang, the message said, "The Council questions the wisdom of sending human forces. Your species is unpredictable." Chang typed her response. "The Zelethi asked for help. We answer. That's what allies do." She didn't say what she really thought. The Council was scared. Not of the enemy attacking the Zelethi. They were scared of what humans might do. What humans might become if they won. Captain Morrison's ship was already moving. The Valkyrie's engines pushed hard. Inside, the crew prepared for battle. "All weapons systems check out," reported Lieutenant Rodriguez. "We're ready." "Good," Morrison said. "Ryan, what do we know about Zelethi space?" Commander Thompson pulled up data on his screen. High radiation. Lots of asteroid fields. 3 suns in their system. Most species can't live there long. But we can. Our suits will handle it. Might get a little warm. Morrison nodded. Humans could work in radiation that killed other species in minutes. Another gift from Earth's dangerous past. The fleet gathered at the jump point. 20 ships total. It was the largest human military force ever sent to help aliens. "All ships, this is Admiral Chang," came the message. "You carry humanity's future. The galaxy thinks we're barbarians. Prove them wrong. Show them that Deathworlders protect the weak." Captain Foster's voice came through next. "Phoenix ready. Storm Rider ready," Captain Wu added. One by one, all ships reported in. Morrison looked at his crew. They were nervous but ready. "Valkyrie ready," he said. The jump engines charged. Space bent around them. In seconds, they would cross impossible distances to reach the Zelethi. In the Marine Bay, Rivera's squad sat in silence. They all knew the truth. Humans were different. Earth's evolution had made them weapons. Now they would use that power to save others. "Whatever's out there," Rivera said quietly, "it's about to learn why Earth's children don't die easy." The fleet jumped. 20 ships carrying humanity's hope and fury. The galaxy would remember this day. The human fleet dropped out of hyperspace into hell. Captain Morrison gripped his chair as the Valkyrie shook. Outside the windows, space was on fire. "Status report," he shouted over the alarms. "Sir, I'm reading hundreds of enemy ships." Emma Rodriguez's voice was tight. "And they're eating the planet." Morrison looked at the main screen. The Zelethi homeworld was dying. Strange ships swarmed around it like insects. But these weren't normal ships. They moved like living things. Their hulls bent and twisted as they moved. "Those aren't ships," whispered Ryan Thompson. "They're alive." The creatures were huge. Each one was the size of a city. They wrapped around Zelathi defense stations and dissolved them, turned metal and energy into food. "Incoming transmission," Emma said. "It's the Zelathi." The screen showed a being made of living crystal. The alien's body flickered with fear. This was Admiral Vorthax of the Zelathi fleet. "Human vessels, you must leave. These monsters adapt to everything. Our weapons don't work anymore. They learn. They grow stronger." Morrison studied the battle. Zelathi ships fired bright beams at the creatures. The beams hit but did nothing. The monsters had learned to ignore energy weapons. "Admiral Vorthax, what are these things?" Morrison asked. "We don't know. They came from dark space 3 days ago. They call themselves the Korthax Devourers. They consume everything. Planets, ships, people." A smaller devourer turned toward the human fleet. It was only the size of a football field, but it moved fast. Tentacles reached out from its body. "It's coming for us," Ryan said. "All ships, this is Morrison. Target incoming hostile. Use kinetic weapons only. No energy beams." The human fleet opened fire. Rail guns launched metal slugs at incredible speed. Missile tubes emptied. The Devourer expected energy shields to stop the attack. It was wrong. The first railgun slug punched through its body. Green blood sprayed into space. The creature screamed. Humans couldn't hear it, but they felt it in their bones. "It's working," Emma shouted. "Kinetic damage works." More slugs hit. Missiles exploded against the creature's skin. It tried to adapt, but it couldn't. Physical impacts were too simple, too brutal. The Devourer died in seconds. The Zelathi fleet watched in shock. They had fought for days without killing a single enemy. Humans killed one in their first minute. "How?" Vorthax asked. "Our weapons are more advanced than yours." Morrison smiled grimly. "Sometimes simple is better. These things adapted to your energy weapons, but a chunk of metal moving at 20,000 meters per second. That's just physics." More Devourers noticed the human fleet. A group of 5 turned away from the planet. They moved like sharks smelling blood. "All ships, defensive formation," Morrison ordered. "Marines, get ready. They might try to board us." In the Valkyrie's armory, Rivera's squad watched the screens. The Devourers were nightmare fuel, all teeth and tentacles and hunger. "Those things eat metal," Private Chen said. "What happens if they get inside?" "We kill them," Rivera answered simply. "Mitchell, you got that flamethrower ready?" "Yes, sir. Full tank." "Good. Organic enemies don't like fire. Earth taught us that." The 5 Devourers accelerated. They split up to attack from different angles. Smart. But humans had fought smart enemies before. Captain Foster's voice came through the fleet comm. "Phoenix taking left flank." "Woo, you got right." Storm Rider confirms. "Right flank covered." "Valkyrie will take center," Morrison said. Time to show them why they shouldn't have called for Deathworlders. The battle was about to begin for real. 20 human ships against an enemy that had destroyed the galaxy's most advanced fleet. But humans had something the Zelathi didn't. They had evolved to be predators. The 5 Devourers hit the human fleet like a storm. Captain Morrison watched his tactical screen light up with warnings. The creatures moved faster than anything that size should move. "Evasive action," he yelled. The Valkyrie rolled hard to port. A massive tentacle swept through the space where they had been. It was close enough that Morrison could see suckers the size of houses. "Rail guns, fire," Morrison ordered. The ship shook as magnetic accelerators launched tungsten rounds. The projectiles slammed into the nearest Devourer. Green blood sprayed across space, freezing instantly. On the U.S. Phoenix, Captain Amy Foster had her own problems. A Devourer had wrapped tentacles around her ship's hull. The creature's mouth opened. showing rows of teeth that spun like buzzsaws. "It's trying to eat through our armor," her tactical officer shouted. Foster didn't panic. "All-point defense guns. Target those tentacles. Fire everything." Hundreds of small kinetic rounds peppered the creature. Each hit tore chunks from its flesh. The devourer let go, screaming silently in the vacuum. The alien commanders watched the battle in disbelief. Admiral Vorthax contacted Morrison during a brief pause. "Your weapons, they're so primitive, but they work." "Primitive is relative," Morrison replied. "Sometimes you need a hammer, not a laser." But the devourers were learning too. The fourth one stayed back, watching. When the Storm Rider fired its rail guns, the creature dodged. It was adapting to human tactics. "Sir, one of them is hanging back," Emma Rodriguez reported. "It's studying us." Morrison frowned. "Then we give it something new to study. Launch boarding pods." Down in the Marine Bay, Sergeant Rivera heard the order. His squad was already in their pods, waiting. "Remember your training," Rivera said over the comm. "These things eat metal and flesh, but they've never fought humans. Show them why Earth makes the galaxy's best killers." The pods launched. Small, fast, and armored, they punched through space toward the watching devourer. It tried to swat them with tentacles, but the pods were too quick. Rivera's pod hit first. The impact crushed him into his seat, but his Earth-born body handled it. The pod's drill bit into the creature's hide. "We're through. Go, go, go." The Marines burst into the devourer's body. The inside was a nightmare. Organic walls dripped acid. The air was poison. The gravity was 3 times Earth normal. For most species, it would be instant death. For humans, it was Tuesday. "Mitchell, burn us a path," Rivera ordered. Hannah Mitchell's flamethrower roared. The organic walls recoiled from the fire. She carved a tunnel deeper into the creature. "Chen, find something that looks important and blow it up." The squad moved like a machine. They had trained for this, not for fighting inside a space monster, but for surviving anywhere. Earth had prepared them for hell, and hell was where they were. Outside, the battle raged. Captain Wu's Storm Rider used a new tactic. Instead of shooting from distance, he ordered ramming speed. "You're crazy," Foster's voice crackled over the comm. "Crazy works," Wu replied. The Storm Rider's reinforced prow slammed into a devourer at full speed. The creature split in half. Both pieces writhed and died. The Zelethi fleet began to understand. Humans didn't fight with superior technology. They fought with violence so pure it confused enemies who had never faced true predators. Inside the boarded devourer, Rivera's squad found what looked like a brain, or maybe a heart. It pulsed with bioluminescent light. "That looks important," Mitchell said. "Light it up," Rivera ordered. The organ exploded in flames. The entire creature convulsed. Its death throes nearly threw the Marines off their feet, but they held on. "Extraction. Now," Rivera called. They fought their way back to the pods as the creature died around them. The lesson was clear. Humans could go where others couldn't. Survive what others couldn't. The devourers began to pull back. For the first time, they had found prey that bit back. The devourer overmind made a terrible mistake. It decided to board the U.S. Phoenix. The creature was old and smart. It had consumed 1,000 worlds. It thought it understood prey. It did not understand humans. The Overmind's elite warriors broke through the Phoenix's hull. They were bigger than the normal devourers, smarter, deadlier. They expected to find scared aliens hiding behind technology. Chief Petty Officer Maria Santos was eating lunch when the alarm sounded. She was from Brazil, Earth. She had grown up in the Amazon, where everything wanted to kill you. "Hull breach, Deck 7. Someone shouted. Santos grabbed her toolkit. As head of damage control, her job was fixing the ship. But she had learned long ago that sometimes fixing meant fighting. The first Devourer warrior that found her was 9 feet tall. It had 4 arms and teeth like broken glass. It had killed hundreds of aliens on other ships. Santos hit it with a pipe wrench. The warrior's skull cracked. Green blood splattered the walls. "Bridge, this is Santos," she said into her comm. "We got borders. Big ones. But they break just like everything else." Captain Foster watched her security feeds. All over the ship, her crew was fighting. Not with military precision, with human fury. In the engine room, 3 engineers held off a warrior with welding torches and crowbars. In the mess hall, the cook threw boiling oil in another's face. Humans weren't just defending. They were hunting. "How are they surviving?" Foster's tactical officer asked. "Our air is poisoned to most species. Our gravity should crush them." Foster smiled coldly. "Earth is poisoned to most species. Our gravity crushes them. We just call it home." The overmind itself entered through the main breach. It was massive, with a brain visible through translucent skin. It released pheromones meant to cause fear and paralysis. The human crew felt the chemicals hit their systems. For other species, it would mean instant submission. For humans, it meant getting angry. Santos found the overmind in Corridor 12. She was bleeding from 3 wounds. Her left arm was broken. She didn't care. "You picked the wrong ship," she said. The overmind spoke directly into her mind. "You cannot resist. I have consumed species far greater than yours." Santos laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. "You ever been to Earth? Everything there tries to kill us. The air burns. The water's full of poison. Gravity breaks your bones. And we love it." She charged. The overmind had fought countless battles, but never against something that ignored pain. Santos' wrench connected with its brain case. Crack. "Impossible," the overmind projected. "Your nervous system should be overwhelmed." "Should be," Santos agreed, hitting it again. "But Earth gave us backup systems, redundant organs, shock-resistant nerves. We're hard to break." More crew arrived. They didn't have weapons. They had tools. Hammers, wrenches, fire extinguishers. They swarmed the overmind like angry ants. On the bridge, Morrison watched the Phoenix's battle through sensor feeds. "They're winning, with hand tools." "Orders, sir?" Emma asked. "Send this to all ships. If boarded, remember that humans are persistence hunters. We don't need to be stronger, just too stubborn." The battle slowed. Both sides pulled back to regroup. Captain Morrison called a meeting with his senior staff and the Zilithi commanders. For the first time, humans and Zilithi worked together as equals. Admiral Vorthax appeared on screen. His crystal body still showed stress fractures from fear, but now there was something else. Hope. "Captain Morrison, your tactics are unusual, but effective." Morrison nodded. "Different evolution, different solutions. Tell us about your weapons." "Our energy systems can destroy stars," Vorthax explained. "But the Devourers adapt. They learn to absorb energy attacks. And our kinetic weapons work because they're too simple to adapt to." Ryan Thompson said, "Can't absorb a chunk of metal." Lieutenant Rodriguez had an idea. "What if we combine them? Your tech, our tactics." The room went quiet. Humans and Zilithi thinking together. It had never happened before. "Our targeting systems are superior," a Zilithi scientist said. "But your weapons delivery is more effective." "So we use Zilithi targeting with human weapons," Morrison said. "Best of both." Over the next hours, engineers from both species worked together. The partnership was strange at first. Zilithi minds worked in crystalline patterns. Human minds jumped around like wildcats, but they found common ground in the desire to survive. Emma Rodriguez worked with a young Zilithi named Crixton. He was brilliant but scared. She was determined but limited by human technology. "Your mathematics is chaos," Crixton said, reviewing her calculations. "Your thinking is too rigid," Emma countered. "Sometimes chaos finds patterns order misses." They argued. They learned. They created something new. Down in the Marine section, Rivera's squad trained with Zelathi warriors. The aliens were faster, could see in more spectrums, but they broke under Earth normal gravity training. How do you function in such weight? A Zelathi warrior asked, struggling to stand. We don't know any different, Mitchell answered. This is light for us. Earth is heavier. The Zelathi began to understand. Humans weren't advanced. They were adapted. Every limitation had become a strength. Medical Officer Liu shared knowledge with Zelathi healers. They were amazed by human healing abilities. Your bodies repair so fast, the lead healer said. And these redundant organs, why do you need 2 kidneys? Because Earth kept trying to kill us, Liu explained. Everything doubles our survival chances. Captain Foster brought the Phoenix alongside a Zelathi cruiser. Their crews worked to install hybrid weapons, Zelathi precision guidance, human kinetic payloads. Test fire in 3 minutes, Foster announced. The hybrid weapon launched. A simple tungsten rod, but guided by Zelathi quantum targeting. It hit a dead devourer with surgical precision, punching through exact weak points. It works, Vorthak said. His voice held wonder. Your violence and our precision, together. But the partnership grew beyond weapons. Humans shared their humor. Zelathi shared their art. 2 species finding common ground in the face of extinction. Private Chen taught a Zelathi warrior human card games. Poker is about reading your opponent, not the cards. The Zelathi's crystalline face couldn't bluff, but it learned to watch for human tells. Small movements, breathing changes. The lessons went both ways. Morrison watched the transformation. Fear had brought them together, but respect would keep them united. Sir, the Devourers are regrouping, Emma reported. Looks like they're planning something big. Let them come, Morrison said. We're not the same fleet they attacked before. Hybrid weapons were installed across both fleets. Human Marines learned Zelathi tactics. Zelathi warriors trained in human gravity. Medical teams shared techniques. The messenger drone arrived from the Devourer fleet. Its message was simple. Surrender the Deathworlders. We will spare the Zelathi. Vorthax's response was immediate. The humans are our allies. We stand together. Morrison felt something change. This wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about friendship, about 2 very different species finding strength in their differences. All ships, Morrison announced, prepare for the final battle. Together. The word echoed through both fleets. Together. Deathworlders and crystal beings. Chaos and order. Violence and precision. The Devourers would face something new, not just human fury or Zelathi technology. They would face unity. Admiral Chang arrived with the main fleet right on time. 20 more human ships dropped out of hyperspace. The combined human Zelathi force now numbered over 50 vessels. All ships, this is Admiral Chang. Operation Hellstorm is now active. Time to end this threat. Morrison smiled. The Admiral never did things halfway. The scanner showed the Devourer's main hive ship. It was massive, the size of Earth's moon. That's their home, Vorthak said. The source. Destroy it, and they all die. Then that's our target, Chang replied. Captain Morrison, you have point. Foster and Wu, take the flanks. The attack began. Human and Zelathi ships moved as one. Hybrid weapons fired with deadly accuracy. The Devourers fought back hard, but they weren't ready for this unity. Lieutenant Tom Bradley sat in his fighter cockpit. He was one of Earth's best pilots. The gravity training on Jupiter's moon had made his reflexes superhuman by galactic standards. All fighters, launch, came the order. Bradley's fighter shot from the Valkyrie's bay. Around him, dozens of human and Zelathi fighters formed up. The mix was strange. Human fighters were ugly but tough. Zelathi fighters were beautiful but fragile. Stay close to your wing partners, Bradley called. Cover each other. The fighters dove toward the high ship, Organic missiles launched from the Devourer vessel. They were alive, tracking the fighters with animal instinct. Bradley pulled turns that would crush most pilots. 9 Gs. 10. His vision grayed at the edges, but he held on. A Zelethi fighter took a hit beside him. "I've got you," Bradley said, firing at the missile chasing his ally. The organic weapon exploded in green fire. "Thank you, human," the Zelethi pilot said. "I will remember this." Inside the Valkyrie, Rivera's Marines prepared for the biggest drop of their lives. They would board the Hive ship itself. "Listen up," Rivera said. "This thing is the size of a moon. We go in, find the brain, and kill it." Questions. "What about extraction?" Chen asked. "We worry about that after the brain is dead." Earth didn't raise quitters. The drop pods launched. Hundreds of them. Human Marines and Zelethi warriors together. They punched through the Hive ship's outer skin like bullets through paper. Rivera's pod hit hard. The inside of the Hive was worse than any devourer they'd seen. The walls were alive. The air was acid. Gravity shifted constantly. "Move out. Mitchell, burn us a path." Hannah Mitchell's flamethrower roared. Zelethi warriors used their energy weapons to mark targets. Human Marines followed with kinetic strikes. The combination was devastating. They fought through corridors that pulsed like veins, past chambers full of half-digested ships. The Zelethi navigator, Jexera, pointed deeper into the ship. "The core is this way, 2 kilometers down." "Then we go down," Rivera said. In space, the battle rage. Captain Foster rammed another devourer with the Phoenix. Captain Wu used the Storm Rider's guns to clear a path for Zelethi bombers. Admiral Chang coordinated from the U.S. Titan. "All ships, concentrate fire on Section 7. Marines report they're close to the core." The Hive ship was taking damage but fighting back. Tentacles the size of stadiums swept through space. One caught a Zelethi cruiser and crushed it. "Vengeance incoming," a human captain called. His ship accelerated to ramming speed, hitting the tentacle dead center. Both ship and tentacle exploded. Deep in the Hive, Rivera's team found the core. It was huge, a brain the size of a city block, pulsing with alien thought. "There," Jexera pointed. "The neural cluster. Destroy that and the whole Hive dies." The Overmind's voice filled their heads. "You cannot win. I am eternal. I have consumed galaxies." Rivera laughed. "You haven't met Earth yet. Mitchell, cook that thing." The Marines opened fire. Flamethrowers, grenades, rail rifles, everything they had. Zelethi energy weapons joined in. The brain began to burn. The Hive ship convulsed. Its death scream echoed through space and mines. But the Marines kept firing. Earth had taught them to make sure things stayed dead. "It's working," Chen shouted. "The whole ship is dying." Outside, the Devourers felt their Overmind die. Without its control, they became confused, lost. The combined fleet pressed the advantage. The Hive ship died slowly. Its massive body broke apart in space. Rivera's Marines barely made it to the extraction point. Zelethi warriors carried wounded humans. Human Marines protected injured Zelethi. They were no longer two species. They were brothers in battle. Everyone accounted for. Rivera asked as their rescue ship docked with the Valkyrie. "All present," Mitchell reported. "Lost some blood. Kept all people." The remaining Devourers fled into deep space. Without their Overmind, they were just animals. Dangerous animals, but no longer the organized threat they had been. 3 days later, on the Zelethi homeworld, the victory ceremony began. The great crystal halls filled with both species. Humans stood next to Zelethi. Warriors next to scientists, all equals. Admiral Vorthax approached the podium. His crystalline form now showed new patterns, patterns of hope. "The galaxy called them Deathworlders," he began. "We meant it as fear. Today, we speak it with honor." He turned to Captain Morrison. In his hands was a crystal star, the Star of Zeleth, their highest honor, never before given to an outsider. Today we have no outsiders, only family. Morrison accepted the award, but his words were for everyone. Humans come from a death world. That's true. Earth tried to kill us every day, but it also taught us something important. He paused, looking at both human and Zelethi faces. It taught us that survival is not about being the strongest. It's about helping each other. Today we didn't win because humans are tough. We won because we stood together. Admiral Chung stepped forward. She held a treaty, the first Human-Zelethi Alliance treaty. From this day forward, our species are bound, not by need, but by choice, not by fear, but by friendship. Vorthak signed with a touch of his crystal hand. Chung signed with an old earth pen. The crowds cheered. In the weeks that followed, things changed fast. Human military advisors spread throughout Zelethi space. Rivera himself led the new joint training program. Welcome to Hell Week, he told the mixed class of Marines. Earth rules. You survive this, you can survive anything. Zelethi technology improved human ships. Human tactics revolutionized Zelethi warfare. The hybrid weapons became standard across both fleets. Dr. Liu established the first mixed-species medical program. Human redundancy combined with Zelethi precision created treatments neither could achieve alone. Emma Rodriguez and Crixton published papers together. Human chaos mathematics merged with Zelethi order theory. New sciences were born from their partnership. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. The older species were worried. Humans had been dangerous alone. Now they had allies, powerful allies. The Deathworlders spread their influence. Some mourned. But Ambassador Vorthak spoke for both species. Yes, they spread influence. The influence of courage, of loyalty, of standing for what's right. He turned to the council. The Devourers will return. Maybe not today, maybe not for years, but they will come. When they do, ask yourselves, do you want to face them alone? The council voted. Humanity was offered full membership, not as junior members, as equals. 6 months later, Captain Morrison stood on the observation deck of Zelethi Station Prime. Beside him, Vorthax watched the stars. Think they'll come back? Morrison asked. The Devourers, perhaps, but they'll find us ready. Together. A young officer approached. She was half human, half Zelethi through adoption. The first of many who would grow up in both cultures. Sirs, report from Deep Space Probe 7. Unknown energy signature detected. Morrison and Vorthax looked at each other. The universe was vast, full of dangers, full of wonders. Send a joint patrol to investigate, Morrison ordered. Human and Zelethi crews. As the officer left, Morrison smiled. You know what the best part is? What? Vorthax asked. We're not Deathworlders anymore. We're protectors, and we're not alone. The stars sparkled with possibility. Somewhere out there, new threats waited. New allies, too. But Earth's children were ready. They had evolved beyond survival. They had learned to thrive. And they had taught the galaxy to thrive with them. The age of human isolation was over. The age of unity had begun.